Okay, so now we have with us CEO Mr. Bilal. Anwar, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good as well. So let's talk about NDRMF and how it's trying to take all the reactive stuff and making it into proactive, and how do you think it's going to get involved and make Pakistan more resilient for us?
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, we are in this Pakistan first ever Expo, and what we heard this morning, and we are the co-host and the co-organizer of this particular Expo with NDMA. And one of the reasons we actually decided to partner with NDMA is because we believe that there is such an absolute need for raising the awareness and spreading the message on disaster risk reduction, climate change action, resilience building for general public. But I think more importantly, which is related to your question, is this kind of a thinking which is evolving across the board from reactive to proactive when it comes to the climate action or when it comes to the disaster risk reduction or disaster risk management approaches. Now, in this particular context, NDRMF is very conscious about it, and is actually kind of leading the work in Pakistan on this front. So traditionally and historically, what we've been doing is we've been very, very active, and we have successfully completed a number of projects in under the larger umbrella of disaster reduction. But what we believe that the kind of scale and the gravity of the issue and the challenges which Pakistan is facing, we have to shift the balance. We have to shift our own approach as well, and that shift is going to happen in terms of moving towards a lot more proactive, a lot more risk assessment based approaches. And that's how NDRMF is actually positioning itself, and that's how the modus operandi of our work is going to be moving forward.
Okay, and what about this today's Expo? What do you think how can it impact the future, and how can it be improved also? Like what should be done in the future regarding these type of things?
I think you will agree with me. It's absolutely wonderful environment here. It's a wonderful ambience. We in Pakistan or in Islamabad, we really get the opportunity when so many practitioners, policy makers, and other players in the larger context of disaster risk reduction and climate change under one roof. So I think in that context, in that perspective, this Expo have done a wonderful job. It has started off with a lot of funfair, and it is actually bringing a lot of people together. And I've been personally meeting with loads of people since this morning, and so I think this is absolutely wonderful. The event, it was much needed. These kind of events should be scheduled, should be held a lot more frequently, and NDRMF is actually going to be partnering with other organizations in holding these kind of events. So that's one thing. Now, second is, if you see the kind of a purpose of these events is there are many purposes. So one is raising the awareness, which is of course very, very important. The other is this kind of finding the partnerships and then finding the synergies with a number of other like-minded organizations and entities who might be active in their own fields, in their own spheres, and we might not be aware of.
Yes.
I was walking actually this morning, and I've actually touched base with a number of people, and I've found out that how our work is actually overlapping with their work. And I think this is what is needed. This is much more needed in Pakistan. So this kind of a coordination, coherence, that's what is going to happen. Now the third is this kind of a thinking which is evolving, that Pakistan need to shift its approach for disaster risk reduction, disaster risk management, from reactive to proactive. I think that need to be spread across. So that's the third element, that's the third goal and objective with these kind of events is going to serve.
Yes. Okay, and lastly, if you have any message for your stakeholders and other organizations you work with, or just the public in general?
Well, I would say that I think they need to be involved, and there are a number of entry points to be involved, to be engaged with an organization like NDRMF and NDMA and a number of others. There's a room for cooperating and contributing, and I think that room should be captured by anyone. So we are inviting and we are actually opening the doors for example, for our youth, for academia, and most importantly, we are actually proactively reaching out to the private sector, and they have been kind of an absent partner so far. So I think there is a need for all kind of actors and the stakeholders to come together, and NDRMF is actually opening those doors, and we encourage everyone else.
All right, thank you so much for your time. It was really nice.